We wanted a baseball game going on today, but that's not happening. But no worries, rain or shine, we're still here today. So let's go into the baseball highlights because it was a rivalry weekend here at Dozer Park as the Braves hosted their I-74 foe, Illinois State. While Bradley starter Nathan Stong went the distance, the bats were the big story in the lopsided victory. The boys are back in town after coming from behind against RMU Peoria in their home opener. The men's baseball team showed no mercy in this lopsided victory against RMU Springfield. Rain, rain, go away. At least that's what Robert Morris would say. In Game 2 of baseball's opening weekend, the Braves sent junior Mitch Plasmeyer to the bump and got into a bit of a jam quickly. With 2 men on, he worked his way out of it and caught a sigh of relief thanks to his backstop, Zach Fairchild. Plasmeyer threw 5 scoreless innings and earning his first win of the season. In the bottom of the first with a runner on, hey, Spencer Gay, what do you say? On Austin Whitlock's third pitch of the game, Gay jacked this one to left field to put the Bradley on the board, but the party was just getting started. As we go quickly into the second inning, in part of his 2-for-3 day, Brendan Doherty scorched an RBI double, making it 3-zip. Bradley broke it wide open in an 11-run second inning. RMU learned that if you hang her, Derek will bang her. Bangert's 3-run shot was the icing on the cake, giving Bradley the sweet victory, 15-0. Over to women's basketball, where the Lady Braves gave a warm welcome to the Loyola Ramblers. Braves got off to a red-hot start from the get-go. Danielle Brewer snuck in this bucket right before the buzzer to cap off a 23-point first quarter. In an overall dominating performance, the Braves piled it on and saw a great outing from Vanessa Markert. The sophomore scored 26 with 3 boards and 3 blocks. With 16 points of her own, Annika Schluter jumped in with this sweet drive and an and one, as it was smooth sailing for Bradley, winning 72-45. Last week I said that the Bradley RMU hockey game was the one to be at. Well, yeah, you can scratch that. This past Friday, the Braves won up that performance in the quarterfinals of the MACHA playoffs against their crosstown rival. And speaking of the Coliseum Classic, this one-of-a-kind event will be held this upcoming Saturday. With those of you that are asking, how will the Coliseum fit 3 tennis courts in there, let alone 1? Well, let's take a look-see at how it'll be pulled off. Now, as you can see here, the courts will be spread out around the floor with a condensed setup in the bleachers section to make room for those 3 tennis courts. On Saturday, the women's softball team opened up their season at the brand new Louisville Slugger Sports Complex, hosting MVC opponent Missouri State. Even though the attention was supposed to be for the Braves, the Bears thought otherwise. In the top of the first, Missouri State's Haley Vigneault and Bethany Sellinger drove in 2 off of Bradley's Emily Visnick to hop on the board first. Braves strung together 5 hits, but stranded everybody, leaving 6 runners on as the Bears were all over the Lady Braves, taking this one 4-0. Lady Braves are back at home this weekend with a doubleheader against Wichita State Shockers. Yeah, oh my goodness. So you know what? I got to say, well, it's March 1st, everyone, and to be honest, I've got a little bit of a fever, and the only prescription is some March Madness. Oh, so after capping off the regular season with a win against Drake, the men's basketball team face off against the Bulldogs in the first round of the Arch Madness MVC tournament in St. Louis. And now finally with the play of the week, it's the special hat trick goal from Joe Norton. And hang on one second. Can we get the camera to move in a little bit? I gotta be honest and tell everybody right now, before we show this, fair warning, you may want to take any children out of the room right now, because what you're about to see is straight up dirty. Roll the tape. Briefly in other sports news, the Golden State Warriors surpassed the 95-96 Chicago Bulls regular season record, going 73-9. Drew Rosenhaus announced that he will no longer serve as Johnny Manziel's agent, and Mount Carmel basketball coach Mike Flaherty will be retiring after this season. The Caravan coach finished his incredible run with 750 career wins. Congrats, coach. Briefly in other sports news, the women's softball team split their season opening series to Grand Canyon U. The women's basketball team took a hard hit on the road against the Drake Bulldogs, losing 98-46, and tennis star Ari Dechter jots down 2 more Bradley tennis records, making it 21 for her outstanding resume. Briefly in other sports news, the men's baseball team returns to Peoria for a weekend series with the Milwaukee Panthers. Both track and field teams head to ISU for the Redbird Invitational, and the women's tennis team will be putting in some miles visiting Evansville, Indiana on Saturday and Carbondale on Sunday for a match against the Southern Illinois Salukis. Briefly in other sports news, softball teams, Caitlin McCarron was named MVC Player of the Week. Junior Matt Speck led the way for Bradley in the I-74 Individual Challenge for the men's golf team. And just announced yesterday, the men's hockey program will be expanding to 2 teams starting next season.
Well, that's all she wrote for today in the news world. For News 24, I'm Sam V. Brock.
And I'm Pablo Iglesias, reminding you to make today the best day of your life.